You probably want to get started using Datadesk, so let's just dive in. I'll bet you have some data in a spreadsheet. Or you could just open the Cyclones data distributed with the program. That's what I'll be using here. These are data about recent typhoons and hurricanes. Data in a spreadsheet should be organized in columns, so that each column holds a variable and each row holds information on a case for each of the variables. Usually there's a title at the top. We'll need those titles for variable names in plots and analyses, so we'll want to take them. To move the data to Datadesk, simply select it and copy. Then go to Datadesk and choose Paste Variables. We'll see that first row with the variable names, and those are our names, so we'll accept them. There's no need to create any place for the data. Datadesk will do that for you. These icons each hold a variable. You can see that there's data inside. But really, when we're analyzing or plotting data, we're working with the variables by name and not with the numbers. These are the nouns of a sentence about your data. Where are the verbs? Well, they're up here in the menus. Each of the menu commands will do something. For example, we could make a scatter plot. We might be interested in how the wind speed and the pressure in these storms are related. Let's put the wind speed on the y-axis and the pressure on the x-axis. That's the joy of a drag and drop interface. You can put each variable exactly where you want it to be, and there's no need for a special language syntax to explain it. Plots and analyses work that way. We could, for example, compute correlations. It looks in the scatter plot like there's a pretty strong linear relationship between wind and pressure, so let's select both wind and pressure and get a correlation. We could add another variable to the correlation table even at this point. Let's add latitude, and we can see that, gee, in northern latitudes, it appears that the winds are less strong. If we look at the scatter plot, it looks now like there might be two different streams here. We should consider whether or not that's important. What if we make a pie chart? We'll look at the type of storm. Here are the hurricanes, and sure enough, they're in the upper stripe. Let's color them blue. The typhoons are in the lower stripe, and we can color them red. And those colors are going to survive wherever we make a plot. For example, we might want to make a parallel coordinate plot so we can look at several of these variables together. We'll look at the latitude, the longitude, the wind speed, and the pressure. I'll drag all four variables together up into the plot. It preserves the colors, so the red ones are typhoons, remember, the blue ones are hurricanes, and we can see that longitude is what separates that definition. Typhoons are in the Pacific, and hurricanes are to the east, mostly in the Atlantic. We can also see a strong correlation between wind speed and pressure. That's what all these lines crossing here indicate in a parallel coordinate plot. And we can see that there is this extraordinary storm. It was up here in the scatter plot. We'd better look into that one. Who is that? That's Haiyan. So we're using the question mark tool to identify it. But we might not want to know more about that. Once we've identified it, the web search query will look it up. And we can learn all about Typhoon Haiyan. Every command in Datadesk works pretty much the same way. You select a command from the menu, and then you drag variables into the command indicating where you'd like them to go. You can't do any harm because none of the commands change the data, so you might as well play with them. Try out some different commands and see what they do. Nobody does it like this.